Use case, object modeling, module 3. Use case diagram. A use case diagram describes how a user uses a system to accomplish a particular goal. A use case diagram defines the features to be implemented and the resolution of any errors that may be encountered. Characteristics of a use case. According to Techopedia.com, the following characteristics of a use case are: organizing functional requirements, modeling the goals of system user interactions, recording scenarios from trigger events to ultimate goals, describing the basic course of actions and exceptional flow of events, and lastly, permitting a user to access the functionality of another event. Use case template. As you see in the diagram in front of you, we have a template for a use case, and it's in the form of a table. We have the use case, which it is explained on the right hand side, use case identifier and reference number and modification history. We have description, goal to be achieved by use case and sources for requirement. Actors, list of actors involved in use case. Assumptions, conditions that must be true for use case to terminate successfully. Steps, interactions between actors and system that are necessary to achieve goal. Variation, which is optional, any variations in the steps of a use case. Non-functional, that's another option. A list of non-functional requirements that the use case must meet. And lastly, issues, list of issues that remain to be resolved. Elements that make up a use case. We have 3: an actor, a scenario, and goals. Actor. An actor is a user playing a role with respect to the system. Scenario, a sequence of steps that describe the interactions between an actor and the system. Goals. Use cases are typically initiated by a user to fulfill goals describing the activities and variants involved in attaining the goal. Use case scenario. So we're going to talk about scenarios here in this slide here. We have instance of a use case, one path in the flow of events for use case. Scenarios help to determine objects, classes, object interactions for functionality specified by a use case. Primary scenario, which is the normal flow. Secondary scenario, which is the what if cases. There are 2 types of scenarios. We have 2 types of interaction diagrams for scenarios: sequence, time order, and collaboration, object linkage order. Icons used in a use case. We have actor. An actor is a person, organization, or external system that plays a role in one or more interactions with your system. An actor may be people, computer hardware and devices, or external systems. An actor is illustrated as a stick figure, and we have a sample of what an actor looks like. Use case. A use case represents a user goal that can be achieved by accessing the system or software application. A use case is illustrated as an ellipses symbol. Association. An association corresponds to a sequence of actions between the actor and the use case in achieving the use case. An association is illustrated as a solid line. Subsystem or component. A subsystem is a smaller method of procedure within a larger set of methods or procedures. A subsystem refers to a collection of related modules. A component is a physical building block of the system. It is represented as a rectangle with tabs. Include. Include is used to extract use case fragments that are duplicated in multiple use cases. The included use case cannot stand alone, and the original use case is not completed without the included one. The included is illustrated by a dotted line with an arrow on one end. Extend. An extend relationship specifies how the behavior of the extension use case can be inserted into the behavior defined for the base use case. An extend is illustrated by a dotted line with an arrow on one end. Inheritance. An inheritance between use cases means that one use case describes some behavior and another use cases supply different implementation of that behavior. An inheritance between actors means that one actor fills the same roles as another actor. Generalization. A generalization is a relationship between one general use case and a special use case, used for defining special alternatives. A generalization relationship is used to represent inheritance relationship between model elements of same type. Dependency. Dependency indicates that the design of the source depends on the design of the target. Now, if you look on your right hand side, we have an example of a use case diagram where we have two actors and it is associated with a use case. And if you notice that we have some use cases that are associated or there's an arrow pointing to where it includes, or it is either is dependent upon or it extends. And we also have where two use cases are inheritance of each other. So this is a sample of an example of a use case diagram. Now let's take a look at a use case diagram that we could create where a student at FIT, we have an FIT student that's ordering a meal in the Panther dining hall. Now we have three actors. We have the student, we have the cashier, we have the chef. Well, the student enters the dining hall and wants to order a meal. Well, he or she chooses a meal, and their choices are from a main entry, an entree, the deli bar, which includes a salad bar, snacks, or maybe he wants a drink or wants two out of the three. But the student has a choice. Then at some point the student will select, confirm what he or she wants to eat, and then pay, and pays the cashier. Well, the cashier can also be associated with the chef because they're working in the dining hall. The chef also, let's say the manager, is making or creating the menus where the student can make that selection from. And the chef can also be the cashier as well and to receive payment for that meal.